Oh, I don't think we even have to juggle them today.
Juggle.
No juggling the mic needed.
Go for the jugular.
Jugular. Oh, what's that gray plug that's just plugged into nothing right there? That one?
This is eternity right here.
Oh.
It plugs into nothingness.
Like, what about the cloud? Does it plug into the cloud?
No, not even the cloud.
Just eternity?
Yeah.
I think I have to take my earrings out because the headphones are squashing them into my neck.
Okay.
You know, earrings are kind of a bad design.
Yeah, it's like they weren't really meant to be on your ears.
It's weird.
They were just meant to be looked at.
You know, no offense, but I hate it when people pierce babies' ears. Like, these bother me, and I'm not a baby. I mean, I am a baby, but you know what I mean.
What else do you hate?
I hate a lot today. I'm going to try and cool that down, though.
I just heard a whole story that had very particular details about people.
Sorry.
No, this is a funny exercise for you.
Not the story I just told you?
Yeah, no, the story that you just told me.
And I can't tell that on the air,
though. No, here's the challenge.
Oh, okay, what?
The challenge is to tell that story and try to delete all the personal information from it. So what would it sound
like? It would sound like I'm really irritated at humanity for being selfish.
Is that your summary?
I don't know if I can get any more personal than that.
It had something to do with cars going in different directions in the Northeast.
Right.
Okay, we'll stop there.
I can think of lots of things that are aggravating today.
All right.
But
go ahead.
I'll try to. Like, for one, I have a hair like on my face somewhere here, and I can't find it. You know when that happens, you feel like you've got a hair across your eye or something, and you're brushing all around your face, and you can't find it, and it's coming from some weird direction, like from up underneath somehow.
You know what makes it really hard for you today? You have a bow in the back of your... I know. And you probably have one of those things under your hair that poofs it out.
Yeah, I do.
And then you have headphones on. Yeah. So any stray hair is going to be exaggerated by 100-fold.
Yeah.
And this is just the way that your day is going to go. This is how it's going to start. This is how it's going to continue. And you'll get to the end of the day and take all the stuff off.
I just spit wicked on the microphone.
It's okay. It has a cover. It will just transfer to the next DJ. Okay. So everything is really going to be fine later tonight when you can put it aside and you have your nice bed to lie down in. And that's why God made beds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hair is really bugging me, though. Where is it coming? It's like, when you get an itch and you itch all around and you're not hitting the itch and you can't figure out where the itch is. And it's like it's inside. The itch is in your soul.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
and you itch and right everywhere you think you're itching where the itch is, and it's just not, it's not there. Where is it? Where is it? It's like phantom itch.
There's something about itchiness. Mm-hmm. And if you add a bee to that.
A bee? Bees make you itch? We just got bees.
No, add a bee to itchiness.
Oh,
Get it?
The word. We're going all because I was literary.
Well, I was just thinking if you wanted to say that word, how you could say it on the radio without actually saying it. So itchy. I feel itchy.
Kristina. We didn't introduce the show.
Okay.
We were so caught up in our technical difficulties here.
It wasn't all that difficult.
Well, the plugs were all wrong, and then there's that weird one leading to eternity.
Well, and then it's because they fixed the board. So now we were confused because we're used to jerry-rigging stuff, and having the board fixed is just all wrong.
It is kind of wrong.
I hate that. I hate that when things go right.
And you're confused.
Yeah. But mostly things don't go right, so I don't think we have to worry too much about that.
Yeah,
especially now.
With that.
Especially now that we're in Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
Yeah, I know.
What do you have to say about this upcoming eclipse?
Yeah, just sink into it and feel it through your bones.
Don't look at it, guys. Though, unless you have the
you
special.
Think you really have to tell people that after all these
Apparently,
years?
I just saw a really silly thing on Facebook that said like, keep all of your animals and pets inside on the day of the eclipse, because if they look at it, they're going to go blind.
That's just dumb.
How are people with herds of farm animals? What am I going to do with all my sheep? What am I going to do with them?
Blindfold
Bring them in the living room? I'm not even going to be home on that day. I don't think they're gonna care. I don't think they're gonna look.
Just give those eye drops that you get at the eye doctor. You know, that make it all go blurry, so they wouldn't probably look at the sun.
Do you think animals are going around looking at the sun anyway?
No, I don't. I think they're looking down at grass usually.
Yeah.
Or each other. They like each other, so they're looking over there.
I'm just saying, if you look at the sun at any point, it's the same danger, right? I mean, the sun is not suddenly going to become extra laser beam intense to shoot our eyeballs out when there's an eclipse, right? No, it's going to be the same sun in the sky that it always is.
Yeah, but it's just that you could stare at it with impunity. I mean, you could stare up there and you wouldn't feel like you were being blinded by it because you've got that big moon in the way. But evidently,
well, then why would you be blinded with it if it's covered over?
Well, I guess we do need to teach people about eclipses now, don't we?
Well, I mean, I'm not worried. We have some of the glasses coming today, so the NASA-approved kind, not the fake scam ones, guys, because some people just are selling fake sunglasses. And
you ordered glasses?
Well, a friend of ours ordered an extra bunch.
Where do you get those from?
Online, NASA. I don't know.
You have a direct line to NASA? Can you buy rockets?
No, our friend does.
She buys rockets?
I don't know if she buys rockets. I'll check later.
Wow, maybe you could buy circuit boards and just rewire your whole life, which is what I would like to do. Actually, I have. I think I've rewired my life pretty well.
You're good. You're fine.
I've done well. It takes some perseverance, but you can do it, people.
Yeah.
Just start young. Start when you're young. And then when you start screwing up, just think long term that you can probably get it corrected by the time you die. Well,
So wait, your advice actually is just start screwing up early and then you'll be okay?
Well, I think everybody screws up when they're young. And then some of us keep screwing up for quite a while. But if you set your sights on a high, lofty goal, then eventually, just before you die, you're probably going to be enlightened. Just right at the end, which is all you need. You don't really need another day after that, right?
I just feel itchy. I feel itchy all over right now.
Because of me?
No, what? I don't know why.
Because of that hair that you can't find?
It's just, do you ever just feel like your body is overly sensitized some days and every, like the seams bother you if you sit on them and then you're kind of itchy and it's just...
Yeah.
Aggravated.
It's probably venereal disease.
I don't have any venereal diseases.
Well, all right. Not you.
That'd be fun, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been fun to live the kind of life where I could be harvesting venereal diseases, but I sadly haven't, and I
don't think
didn't even get the fun out of it.
Nobody's ever said that before. Harvesting venereal disease. I like that. It's a unique use of language. It's good to be creative with your words. Like, why say things the way that other people generally say them? Just come up with your own means of communication, especially when Mercury is in retrograde. You've got to think fast on your feet.
All right. Tell me about, I know you're just itching to tell me about Mercury in retrograde, so why don't you just do it and get it over with?
No, I don't want to tell you that, because if you want to persist in your ignorance, then go right ahead. You'll just have poor communication with just about everybody that you talk to.
Oh man, I just laughed so hard I snorted.
Everybody likes a good snort.
John, my husband, snorts whenever he laughs, and it's really funny. I haven't gotten to the point where I don't like it yet.
I think there's positive reinforcement when people do snort, and then the people think it's funny, so you want to do it more.
It's like, just kind of cute.
Of course it is.
Although this morning I was trying to pack lunch for the museum, and I was huffing around because I'm itchy and irritable. And I said, there's nothing here to pack for lunch. And he had just hard-boiled some eggs. And he said, why don't you take a hard-boiled egg? And I hissed, no, I don't want the whole museum to smell like fart. And then that was where you left it. I've totally forgot where I was going with this. I'm very sorry. It had something to do with snorting, but I've lost the connection now.
It's okay. Just on its own, it was a great story about eggs. Oh. I mean, how many good stories about eggs do you hear in a day? Probably fairly low number. Yeah. I mean, at least for me, I should speak for myself.
Do you eat eggs?
No.
Why? What if they're not fertilized?
I don't get that scientific about it. It was just kind of an idea that got lumped into early-onset vegetarianism.
Right, but like, why is an egg different from cheese?
Because it could turn into a little jumping cuteness of a creature with eyeballs.
Not if it's not fertilized. It's just goo. It's just stuff that goes away every day. Same as milk.
Speaking of goo, why don't you talk to my guru? Figure that out.
Oh no, it's gonna be one of those days. Kristina's got her hat on again.
It's not my cold. Trekker's cap.
It's not. It's like a real winter fuzzy hat.
It's an autumn polar fleece. I know I'm jumping the gun. I'm really
it's damn cold out.
I'm looking forward to fall.
Not me. There was a whole tree that was all red and losing its leaves already on the way to work.
Great.
No, it's August. Someone needs to shake some sense into these trees and say, look here, you used to do this in like October. And then you started turning September into fall. And now you're trying to take part of our August away? Like, how dare they?
It's just like when they started having kids go back to school in August.
Yeah, that is so not okay.
That was when it all began. I think that was the start of it.
My kids go back to school next week.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But it started when, I don't know, we were younger.
I don't even know how to cope with that. They are wretched getting up in the morning. And so now I have to actually get them up again really early in the morning, make them totally clean and decent and ready to go out and face public. I have to pack lunches and make sure that they've got all of their stuff in their little messy rat's nests of backpacks.
You know, the way that you say that, you're just filled with the love and appreciation for being at this stage of life where you actually have children in the household to complain about.
No, I'm super happy that I have the children in the household, but we're at the stage where they need to start doing some of this stuff, and yet they want to be independent in lots of ways, in all the ways that I don't want them to be, like making really bad choices about things they're going to do. But they don't want to be independent in the whole, like, helping maybe make their own breakfast or cleaning their own backpack.
How about you tell Eli that he's got to make Ira's lunch, and Ira that he's going to make Eli's lunch?
All they'd pack would be candy. I can't do it.
That would be fun. No, within parameters. They have a list of acceptable items that they might think it was fun. Give it a try.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I had one of my kids sort of took over making the lunches for the others at a certain point.
That's nice.
Yeah. Speaking of vegetarian options.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about this a little bit more. Vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I was at a local restaurant this week, which will remain unnamed. unless you saw my Facebook page and then you know where I was. But
I think I did.
There was one vegetarian entree, okay, like there always is. And I don't consider salad an entree, I'm just saying.
Right.
Okay, so it was not the salad. But so I get in there and on the board, it's the one vegetarian entree is crossed out, says sold out, right?
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I've driven a half an hour to get to this place, but I rallied. Look at me.
Of course you did.
I rally. I'm a rallier. So I looked at the children's menu and there was a grilled cheese there.
I love grilled cheese.
Yeah, I mean, how bad could a grilled cheese? You can't screw up a grilled cheese, right? You can't.
You can. I've seen a couple places screw up a grilled cheese.
Actually, you really can.
If they put just one slice of that thin little orange American cheese in there and the bread is twice as big, and then it just doesn't do anything.
I think you're psychic because you just described my experience. My experience was they took a piece of processed cheese out of the plastic wrapper. They threw it on a dry hamburger bun, a white bun, and they threw it on the grill, and they called that a grilled cheese.
That is nothing sacred, Kristina.
I know. And thank God that I asked for a tomato slice and a pickle. Thank God.
Wow.
Okay, I'm done. That's it.
No, I'm sorry.
I know.
You know how I feel about grilled cheese. So.
I know. I figured you'd feel my pain.
I so feel your pain.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we're an ache deep in my gut right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, word is going to get around about this.
I feel like maybe we should go get some, but I have to go to work. Pretty soon, though, work will be done, and we can actually eat grilled cheese again.
Go back to our grilled cheesing?
Yeah.
I did go back to the thrift store, and they had that other curtain.
Oh, the one that you were looking for?
Yeah, they had it.
We were so worried it would be gone.
I know, it was still in the box.
That's amazing.
I got it.
It's like, what's the word?
Like providence?
Yes.
Yes.
Fate,
destiny, the beauty of life.
It smelled like fried food, though, because almost everything in the thrift store smells like fried food. But that's the thrift store's in the restaurant.
I know, but you just have to wash everything about 5 times before that smell. That is a strong smell. The thrift store smell. It doesn't even it's not a smell. It's a combination of the mustiness of the basement, the fried food from the upstairs restaurant, the other items that all together collectively create a smell of used clothing.
I have a feeling that a lot of people give their used clothing to the thrift store not clean.
I was just going to say unwashed.
So
I have been guilty of that sometimes because I think, okay, if I have to take the time to wash all this stuff, it's not going to happen.
Right. I'll forget that I was going to get rid of it.
I would rather, not super filthy, but just, stuff that I don't know if it's been washed. It's more that, like, I don't know when the last time this was washed was.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah, I know you hear me because you're my buddy.
Do it too.
You're with me. I can feel the force.
Camaraderie of thrift.
And you were going to introduce the show.
Oh,
Crap. It's not too late.
All right. 11th Hour Radio. You guys are listening. I always look at the sign to make sure I'm saying stuff right. That's silly. After 4 years, I'm like, what's our call letters of WFVRLP 96.5?
Yeah, if you screwed it up, you'd get in big trouble with the boss.
He might not even be our sponsor anymore.
But he likes to be on our show. He likes his grease collective to be connected to the people who eat grilled cheese right off the grill.
True.
Off the
We're
meat
helping
grill.
make that fuel or whatever he uses it for. Is that what they use it for? Yeah.
What, grilled cheese?
No, the Tunbridge Grease Collective.
Oh, yeah, they run cars with it.
Okay.
I don't know whose cars.
Not mine.
Maybe clown cars for all I know.
We are not good radio hosts who are supposed to be promoting our sponsors.
No, we're not supposed to.
Oh, right. We're not supposed to promote them. We're supposed to thank them. Well, you just did the opposite. You just made fun of him.
I did, because he's my friend.
Okay.
And I think he's on vacation anyway. He's not going to hear this.
Sorry, Todd.
All right, I think it's time.
And our other sponsors are Mountain Folk and Howeville Farm, which we don't have time to make fun of right now because...
Say it slowly so people can hear what it is.
Howeville Farms and Mountain Folk. But Kristina's going to play a song now, so we won't humiliate the rest of our sponsors.
We won't elaborate. All right. I think everything's kind of in a different position in the studio. So
what's going to happen now when you push the buttons?
I know. I think it's channel 3 now is fixed. So I'm going to use it.
But you've put your iPad on the wrong side today.
Yeah, I know. But
and you're going to freak out.
No, I'm trying it to think maybe the whole feng shui will be better. You know, the studio feng shui. Right. Okay.
I'll believe it when I see it. Right. Or hear it. She did it.
Cloud cover hovers above the two lovers. Day rolls by, absorbing the starlight with infinite eyesight. We dream towards the sky, while holding the flower of light years and hours. We watch time grow high. Of the mornings and all the sun's yawnings, we know we will see. Think of the places where we lose our faces and we can just be. Think of the islands we'll find before time ends, and know you're with me.
Short but sweet.
That was Hunter Pay, your favorite guy.
I did say he was my favorite guy.
Well, you like his hair.
I do.
It's beautiful. Well, he's an amazing guy. He's actually one of the greatest guys on the planet.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can like him. It's okay to like him.
Okay.
Like him if you want to. Don't hold back. Let's like the people that we like.
Duly noted.
Thank you, Emily. I just needed permission.
Do you own a bike?
Sickle?
Yeah. Like a popsicle.
There's a bunch of bikes in the basement. I don't know which of them work. I mean, so I think weird. I do. I just don't. It's not, when you live on these dirt road hills everywhere, there's nowhere to ride your bike unless you're this cool mountain biker. And I just haven't.
I'm not one of those.
Yeah, I probably would be that would be a good sport for me because I like stopping and starting and falling and things like that. I think
no, you don't. You freaked out when you fell over when you were skiing.
That's different.
You were like, I hate this. And you freaked.
Yeah, but you did this is so different, Emily. With a mountain bike, you have a brake. With skis, you do not. You have your own bad physical coordination to rely on.
You're not badly physically coordinated. You were doing a great job, actually.
Don't bring up skiing.
Bikes seem worse because you have to go uphill.
Yeah, but you can get off.
I would rather fall downhill than try to go uphill.
You can get off and you can push it slowly and you can just do fun things like think about, how beautiful the forest is as you walk slowly up the hill and nobody's pressuring you to go fast.
I suppose.
And gravity is working, a little bit against you, but not in a big way. Right?
It just occurred to me, though, growing up, you always have a bike, right?
Yeah, why'd you ask me?
Because the other day I was like, wow, I don't own a bike at all, and I just don't have any interest in having one. Isn't that weird?
You've got horses,
right?
Why do you need a bike?
I don't know. It just occurred to me. No, just lots of people bike. Everyone bikes. I'm not good at going up hills.
Do you have a trampoline?
No.
Okay.
Here comes the train.
Let's get into it this time.
Okay. We'll get into it today.
Okay. It's louder today.
It is.
Oh. And he's going all the way through town. He's letting it rip.
He's using the horn. He's riding the horn. He's come through silently the last few weeks. That's why we've been out of sorts, I think.
He must have
heard a little beep beep like way far away, but then he just comes through town silently.
That's wrong.
It's very wrong.
I think he heard our show and then he just decided he was going to really rip it today.
Right.
So thank you. I'm thankful for so many things.
Great. Like what?
You don't really care, do you?
I do. Let's hear it.
Do you care?
Of course I care.
You care about what I think, what I like?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see what I wrote down. Thankful.
Did you get
to
hail?
The thankful section.
Did you get hail?
You got hail, but
I got so much
hail. Are you
hail.
thankful for hail?
No.
Well, let's not switch back to things that we are not thankful.
Right.
Do you
I
think
just want the opposite direction.
You know, there's some logic would say that we should save thankful to the end. Because if we get on a bad, sour note, we'll want to recover from it. And the only way to do that is to go to the good stuff at the end.
Okay.
Okay, so let's find the bad stuff now.
Okay.
So not about thank yous. Weird ongoing issues with my sales rep. How does that sound?
What sales rep?
My sales rep at the manufacturing company that makes CDs.
Oh, that sales rep.
Yeah, I'll just say his name because he'll never in 1,000 million years. His name is Craig Walensky. So this is going out to Craig Walensky. Okay, Craig. So here's the thing: is he's been my sales rep for years, and when I order CDs to be made, records, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I guess there's been maybe a 2-year break since I ordered a CD, but before that, I guess every couple of years I'm doing it, and sometimes every year I'm making CDs, either for myself or for somebody else.
Right.
So I thought I was kind of friendly with this guy, so I 2 years have gone by. It's, hey, Craig, how you doing? And I started being, saying sort of just chatty things with him. And he wrote back with using phrases such as the following phrase, okay, quote, "Please let me know how everything's coming along for you so far, and if there is anything I can do to help you out as you continue to move forward."
What? I don't understand.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's so formal. His language is so formal. And so that I wrote back.
Is this normal? Is this just like a stock expression that he cuts and pastes?
Yeah, I mean, I let it go a couple times, but then I received one of these.
What does he mean?
Well,
what is he talking about is what I'd like to know.
Yeah, I don't really know. Then I get one of these things that companies have started to send to you after you have some kind of interaction with a customer service rep. They send a questionnaire and say, "How would you rate your service?" Which is so stupid. I'm just communicating with my sales rep. You don't need to send me a questionnaire. I'm in the middle of an ongoing conversation that's lasted about 8 years, and suddenly you're sending me these surveys. So I complained about that, and I said it was robotic. And so the next time he's still writing back to me using these phrases. I mean, he's dealing professionally with the actual job, so I don't have any complaints about how he's handling my job.
Okay.
But the end of every single email is something like, "Please let me know if you have any further questions and how you would like to proceed." Do you know what I'm saying? The guy,
I do. He's not opening up to your overtures of normalcy.
Yes, and when I actually complained about it, I try to do it either in a humorous way or, not...
Has he ever just written to you like a normal person?
No.
Ever?
In the old days, I thought he did, but maybe my memory's wrong. I don't know.
Do you think there's more than one person that just uses that same name to email out of?
I don't know. Here's a question. Should I switch reps?
Because you don't like how he talks? Is he doing an okay job? Just write him off. Just be like, this dude is not going to be my friend, but he's making the CD. So that philosophy is that you should be acting, and I heard this on Ira Glass, stupid and cheerful. This approach to life, when somebody is sort of dissing you in a passive-aggressive way, that the best response is to be stupid and cheerful. So I could just kind of
ignore it in a certain way by being stupid or pretending to be stupid and just continue to be cheerful and eat it, basically.
No, I don't know. That's kind of a waste of time, too. But do you want to switch this late in the game?
I don't care. He's just the sales rep. I mean, after the project actually goes into production, you get a project manager.
Wow.
So but it's taking a long time this year to get these projects to the point where they're actually in production because we keep changing our mind and estimates keep changing and blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. So I guess he's a little bored with it. I'm bored with it.
Well, then I would say if it's important, then I would get somebody that you feel like you have a connection with.
It would be more fun. See, I'm into making business fun. Right?
Yeah, he's not.
No, he's not. And I think maybe he's had a tragedy in his family or his wife left him.
Maybe he's been doing this too long, too.
He could be.
Maybe
and
he's
also,
burnt out, Kristina.
He sounds burned out. He sounds like his management is watching his every move. So if he doesn't say this stuff correctly,
right,
he's getting rated.
Maybe they don't want him fraternizing with the customers.
Well, and that may be true, but the CD business is going down the tubes anyway, so they're probably all depressed. They're probably drinking on the job. They're probably going into the bathroom and shooting up.
It's not funny. They probably are. But all right, then don't leave. I don't know. You just pick one, and I'll be like, yeah, that's what you should do.
Okay. I don't know. I got to think about it some more.
Okay.
I might switch. I might say, Craig, this just isn't like, it's not doing it. I'm not doing it for you. So why don't you switch me over to somebody else? And you can tell them how awful I am as a customer. You just, get it all out.
Yep.
Just get me someone with a little more personality.
Pep.
A little more pep.
Peppy Pepperson.
Kendra.
Kendra's down south. I think she's coming home, though, soon.
Kendra Kenderson.
I don't know if it works with your own.
Why not?
Name.
You said Peppy Pepperson, right?
Yeah.
Like Goofy Gooferson. Or...
Yeah, but I don't know if it works with an actual name.
Oh.
Like Kristinerson. Like, that's not as funny.
That sounds a little Swedish.
That's kind of...
Emily Emerson. That sounds poetic. This is turning
the
into
rain this is flooded your brain now.
No, I think we're starting to have a literary show. Want to talk about famous authors? You're still worried about your hair.
Now there's one like across my ear.
Yeah, I don't blame you because you do have a complicated headpiece on.
God.
I don't think DJs should wear bows.
No, I know they shouldn't. I'm double dutying here today. Or not dutying, but just like
not in a
multitasking.
Yeah, no reference to doo-doo. But I do have a story about doo-doo.
Okay.
Ready?
I brought some doo-doo to the vet the other day.
Did you? See, everybody has a doo-doo story.
Yeah.
Mine's about, it happened up in Alburgh, Vermont, this doo-doo story.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was an unusual arraignment up in Alburgh.
I know what you're going to say. I won't spoil it, though.
Okay, I'll just read what it says. In an arraignment hearing, Judge Michael Harris questioned whether the spraying of manure can constitute damage to property since it can be washed off.
Yeah.
So you read about that?
Didn't the guy spray a cop car with liquid manure?
Yep. He was upset. Did you know?
I think that's very original.
It is. Did you know what he was upset about?
I don't remember, no.
He was upset about Mexican workers, undocumented workers that come to work on the farms up in Alburgh. But the interesting thing, first he said, it's about prostitution and drugs, that this whole culture comes in with undocumented workers, which I don't know if there's truth to that. But the other thing was, he said, and I think this is the key to his problem, is that he said that he struggles to keep the equipment for his business going and complained that farmers who hire illegals are able to buy new equipment since they do not pay a fair wage to migrant workers. Now, he's got a good point there.
He does have a good point.
And I think he had an original way of dealing with his frustration.
Right.
Just hope he doesn't.
Did he have some personal vendetta against that that particular police officer?
No, I think it was just border
Just
cops.
the system in general.
Yeah, and border cops specifically. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Alburg is right up on the border there, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like his unique approach to it. I mean, if you're going to go with violence, how about you go with the kind that just spreads doo-doo and doesn't actually harm someone? That's just my take on it.
Yeah. I think you would probably choose to spread doo-doo rather than say, punch somebody.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But I actually don't think you'd do either.
Nah.
You might think about doing it, but you wouldn't actually do it.
Right.
What would you do?
What would I do, or would you do?
And what would you do if you were really mad and you felt you had to do something? What would you do?
I don't know. That's a good one, though. I mean, I would feel that if you do something that has some humor attached to it, you're going to get in trouble. But some people are going to be amused.
I actually can remember my first act of revenge.
I peed my bed on purpose.
You do too. You remember yours. You did on purpose. You know it.
Because I was like 6
purpose?
or 7, and my mother had sent me to bed for something that I felt was unjust. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure I was being horrible. And I remember being in bed, and she was downstairs. And I remember thinking, I've got to go pee. And then I said very quietly, Mom, can I get up to go pee? I said it very quietly so that she could not hear me, because I know she would have said, of course, go to the bathroom. But then I was like, oh, she didn't hear me. She hates me. I'm just going to have to pee the bed. So I did. And
that's beautifully convoluted.
Thanks.
Well, I
really was a very good child, but there's a couple things like that where I remember I'm going to get revenge on her because she's going to have to change this bed now.
Yeah. So you did something bad.
Right.
Well, what I did, my first act of revenge was I went into my mother's bedroom and I pulled out one of the drawers in the bureau and I dumped it on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel so much worse than you now. You could have at least peed on it or something.
No, it was bad enough.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. It was destructive.
A heinous little child.
What happens to that? I was going to say what happens to that destructive streak, but it's actually more interesting to see the destructive streak in a new formed child, who's supposedly full of innocence and wonder.
Oh, no one is born full of innocence and wonder. That's bull. We are all full of natural
vendettas. We're born with vendettas.
Yeah, look at 2 little kids. They don't go up to each other immediately. Want to share their toys and play together. They immediately start yanking and grabbing, and they don't. You have to teach kids to share. They don't naturally share. They're not naturally kind. Their first instinct is always to clobber the other one.
That's biological. That's just programmed into the human system as you evolve through, somebody who doesn't have all the mystical elements embodied yet.
Don't you just think the primitive new child is kind of selfish? They're just thinking about their own needs, of course.
Yeah, but when you say the word selfish, it kind of has this connotation.
No, I don't mean it. I mean, it's a natural thing. You're born and you're just you. Yeah.
You're self-centered. You don't understand yet how to interact around things. And part of figuring that out...
that we're all born very kind and generous, because I don't think we probably are.
Well, what if nobody ever made you share? Would you? Do you think you really had to learn how to share?
I don't know, because I did learn to share, but
I think if you just said, well, I actually had this conversation with my kids while they were here, just that, there's so much focus on good parenting, so-called good parenting, and there's a lot of controversy over what good parenting really is. And I said, well, what I think is that it's the example that you set and it's the kind of person you are that makes a bigger impact on your children than what kind of so-called parenting techniques you employ.
Well, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so
but
I don't know.
Those follow suit, one holds the other's hand.
Well, but if you're
setting a good example, you're being a good parent as well, so that they...
Well, you're making that assumption.
Maybe.
Which is, I agree with you. that a good parenting has to do with being a good person and displaying good behavior in the household.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure there's differing opinions about what is good behavior, but I mean loving kindness and good boundaries as well.
Just the golden rule of treating others how you want to be treated and all of that.
But that goes a long way. That goes a really, really long way.
It does.
Hugely. Like, as far as that, this cable that we're going to plug into eternity, that's how far it goes. And then some.
Okay, good.
All right, where are we at? Hey, we're at that time for another song.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
That's weird, Kristina.
Oh, and guess what the next one's called? It's called Stubborn Fool. I don't remember who this one's by. I'll just have to hear it and then I'll figure it out. That's my style of DJing, is like you don't know what the song is before you play it, and then after you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so.
It's our grab bag of music.
Yeah.
I should have left a long time ago. Why I'm still here, I'll never know. Oh, you drive me up a wall, things you do. Oh, I guess I'm just an old stubborn fool. This was never meant to be. Me loving you, you loving me. Hoping I was an exception to your rule. Oh, I guess I'm just an old stubborn. I should have left when I was younger. All those beautiful women, all that hunger. All those sweet invitations I never followed through. All I ever wanted was you. This was never meant to be. Me loving you, you loving me. All these years I've been true. Oh, I guess I'm just an old stubborn. All these years I've been true. Oh, I guess I'm just an old stubborn fool.
Old Stubborn Fool by Nick Coles.
Nice.
Our apple farmer from Shelburne.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Apples are doing pretty well this year.
Yeah, they look good at my place.
Ours too. We've been eating the yellow transparents every day because those are early apple.
That sounds really yummy.
We had blueberries up the wazoo, and then yesterday...
What's a wazoo?
I don't know. It's just a... Do you think that's a Vermonty word or just a... Do you think up the wazoo is a Vermont expression? I'll have to Google it later. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know. It rhymes with kazoo, though.
It does. We have John does lectures for this group. It's called Road Scholars. It's like older Americans that go on bus tours and usually to learn something that's a theme.
Like an elder hostel?
Yes, it used to be called Elder Hostel. Now it's been changed to be called Road Scholars, which is...
But Road Scholars is actually a thing. It's actually kind of a scholar.
Well, maybe it's all through the Center for Lifelong Learning or something, because it's not always elderly people. Last time John did a lecture, it was for grandparents and their grandkids, so it was sort of multi-generational. But usually it's older Americans, and so they all stay at Hotel Coolidge when they do it in this area, and they do little trips around Vermont by bus and go to, the places. And they often come to my museum. And they've started now, since John is friends with the fellow who runs this, they've started stopping at our farm as part of their tour around Vermont, which is kind of cool.
That's a great idea.
But the funny thing is... we saw them at the lecture one night, and John showed his movie and did a talk about filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And then we knew they were coming to the farm and then to my museum the next day. So I said, you guys should, pick a handful of blueberries, because we have lots of blueberries ripe now. And, it's only 21 people or something. And figured no big deal. Those little suckers brought big Ziploc bags with them, and they picked the hell out of our blueberries. They picked them clean.
Wow.
So they all brought home like a gallon of blueberries. And I mean, whatever. I don't begrudge them the blueberries, but I just didn't expect
they're thrifty.
They were going to just
take advantage.
Come in there like little turkey vultures and take all the blueberries away. But
well, you underestimated the senior citizens of this area.
I did.
You definitely did.
Love for blueberries.
Because they are a powerful crowd.
Where did they get those Ziploc bags is what I want to know. Staying in a hotel. Where'd they get Ziploc bags?
Oh.
Did they go out and purchase Ziploc bags planning to pilfer my blueberries?
They sent somebody out. It's not hard to find a Ziploc bag.
Feels premeditated is what it feels like.
Yeah. They did a number on you. You're going to need some rest.
Yep.
So I did want to get to my list of thank yous, kind of have the upbeat ending, because I had some really, really good turns of fate this week. In just the smallest, most ordinary ways. But those are really the best.
Well, you had your kids visiting. That's excellent.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
Baby, grandbaby.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm not one of those goo-goo grandparents.
Yeah, whatever. I will goo-goo for you. Because that's the cutest baby basically on the face of the earth.
I took him outside and we sat in the grass, and I had my scissors and I was cutting grass, and he was pulling all the flowers off the stems. And it was a great team.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, I let him pick. There was one, my Coreopsis moonbeam. I thought, that's okay if that misses
Is that its real name?
Coreopsis? Well, Coreopsis is sort of the Latin name, I guess, or the...
What about moonbeam?
Scientific name. Moonbeam? Yeah, that's the variety, Coreopsis moonbeam.
Wow.
You want one? You can have some of mine.
What does it even look like?
Want some moonbeam? You'd like it. It's a big clump of yellow daisy-like flowers, but they have more delicacy to them and feathery foliage. Very pretty.
Are they like brown on the center and
no?
So they're not sort of colored like a black-eyed Susan, but
no, they're all yellow, I think.
Is their centers kind of hairy?
Are you thinking of echinacea?
No. I know what echinacea looks like.
Okay.
Those are stabby on the centers.
Yeah, like pin cushions.
Right. No, we have a patch of something that looks like yellow daisies, but they're not. And
could be blanket flower.
No.
They're a little bit more elaborate form, more hybridized kind of form of a daisy, I think.
Even though I don't like mallow, I kind of like its name.
Because it reminds you of marshmallow.
Well, weren't marshmallows made from mallow originally?
No, they're made from
mallow that grew in marsh. No.
Oh, come on.
I know they are now.
You don't make marshmallows
original
out
marshmallows
of flowers?
Made from mallow?
No.
That's a flavor. I think if you eat it.
The root?
Yeah.
Mallow.
Yeah. From the marsh.
Okay, I'm not going to pretend I know.
This is another thing to Google.
Anything about science, don't ask me. I'm not
Marshmallows
a science
aren't really
person.
sciencey. Except for they do a lot of experiments on them in the lab, like in microwaves and things.
I occasionally can come up with the medicinal use for some type of a plant, but generally I know nothing about plants.
What about medicinal use for a marshmallow?
I know they do have some good uses. I'm just not.
I feel like you could stuff one into an open wound. I mean, it's practically like an edible tampon, don't you think?
Say what?
Like a marshmallow. Don't you think it would be kind of absorbed, like int?
No, I don't.
What if you had a bullet? What if you had a gunshot? Don't you think you should stuff a marshmallow in there and it would be okay?
No, I don't. No.
I'm talking like desperate, like you don't even have like a dog to lick it or anything.
Guess what? I'm not desperate.
Well, you aren't shot by anything either. If you were shot and you only had a marshmallow.
No, I would not use it.
What? Okay. If it was like life or death, you wouldn't try to like put a marshmallow in a gunshot wound?
No.
I really don't understand.
I'm glad to know that you would.
Well, if I had nothing else.
I would find something else.
Okay.
I would rather put grass in my cut. my bullet
Is this for
wounds.
being a vegetarian? Do you eat marshmallows?
No, I just gave away a bunch of marshmallows. I had a bag and I gave it to a friend.
You know what's gross? I could get on board with those mini ones because those are fine.
What do you mean they're fine? They're the same thing. They're just chopped up smaller.
No, you know what's not okay? Those giant marshmallows that are the size of the actual mug. If you were going to put that giant marshmallow into your mug, then where does the cocoa go? It doesn't go anywhere.
You know what? You're not the ideal customer for that.
Who is? It's disgusting. That's like 3 days worth of sugar just in one marshmallow.
You know what I have? I have gourmet marshmallows. Gourmet. They come in a fancy package and they're gourmet.
Are they individually wrapped?
They're gourmet.
So you could carry them in your first aid kit.
All right.
Sorry. Go tell me what you're thankful for so we can get off the air.
I appreciate your idea. Good. I don't know. I just want you to feel like it's okay to say crazy, stupid things on the radio.
Oh, you think I don't think that it's... What do I ever say? Only.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you to Tanya. Tanya, if you're listening, thank you for mowing my lawn. I feel bad that she hit a rock, but thank you, Tanya.
Hey, how is your car here? I thought your car was dead. I was going to come and get you today, and now your car is...
Thank you, Julian, for putting in the second transmission yesterday after putting in the first and finding out that it wasn't any good. So thank you. Thank you, Julian. Thank you to Davey for driving all the way up from Ascutney to give me a ride to pick up my car.
Oh, good.
Thank you to Fred for walking me back from the cliff of self-doubt this weekend when I was finishing a record in my studio. I was just about going crazy. I was about to throw myself out a window. But anyway, Fred, thank you. He walked me back. Thanks for Bob for giving me some cash this week, the day before property taxes were due.
Ooh.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you especially to my GPS for letting me know that I was in the middle of a big forest heading nowhere and that I should turn around. And I did.
Turn around now.
Yeah, and thank you to Piero and Joe for fixing the picnic table.
Picnic tables are important.
I thought it was a goner. I thought it was done for. The picnic table.
Good thing about picnic tables is they're just boards and you can take one off and put a new one on.
Well, no, it's not at my house. They're rotten boards at my house. It's like the whole corner. If you know how a picnic table has 4 corners?
Yeah.
And the one corner was just practically on the ground.
See, what you got to do is you got to put all the legs on bricks so they don't rot out as fast.
Well, they found a rock.
Oh, good.
But that's not what you're talking about. But no,
I didn't. Be a rock.
I didn't take care of my picnic table. Okay, I admit it. I didn't.
Right.
I did not.
I don't really take care of mine either, except for putting their legs on things.
I can't do everything.
I even leave them out in the winter and everything.
I took care of my cats. I did not take care of my picnic table. If you had a choice, wouldn't you rather take care of your cats than your picnic table?
I guess.
I think I made a good choice.
Yeah.
So get off my back.
I'm not on your back. What time is it, lady? Are we supposed to be on here still?
Well, we have a 6-minute song that we could go out on.
6 minutes?
That's okay. People can make... Don't get down on musicians for making long songs.
I'm totally on board for 5.
They have a lot to say. Could you pour your heart out and stop at 6 minutes? Some people are in that place where they just have to let it out, and it has to go past 5.
6 minutes is long, though.
it's good for the health.
Okay. You're so lucky you don't have to go school shopping anymore, though.
I do feel lucky about that, but I have to send some baby clothes to Italy because they got left behind. So not lucky with that. You know how much it costs to send stuff overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've talked about just about everything. I did have one little quick piece of advice, which I saw on the interweb today, which is don't be generic with your sofa choice.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I thought you would. And for 4 more good things that I listed on my paper, one was blueberry pie. We've already touched on that.
Yeah, none for me. Thanks to senior
you
citizens and their Ziploc baggies.
Go back out there and see. There's probably a few.
It's raining. Nothing's going to ripen today.
There's a few that will come along.
Okay.
Number 2, rocking horses.
Those are pretty great.
Those are great. I got to take mine out of the basement and see it in action again.
Cool.
Number 3, gravity blankets. I'm going to get you one for...
What? Are those weighted ones?
Yeah.
Like a thunder shirt for dogs, but for people?
Right. Yeah, and I think you need one.
I was pretty sweaty last night with my heavy down comforter on. But
no, down comforters by definition are not heavy. This is a gravity blanket.
This was kind of heavy. Like it's got like a duvet thing over it that's kind of heavy.
Duvet.
No.
Gourmet.
Ballet.
Let's not pretend that we're anything but Americans who can't speak with foreign pronunciation. Okay, and the last thing is dry kindling.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Lord. Lord of this.
It's hard to come by today.
Forest, the Lord of the forest who brings us dry kindling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Do you have anything else to say before we go off the air?
No, I ran in here in a shambles. Didn't really make a list. Had to pull my earrings out. They've got a hair somewhere on my face that's bothering me. And so it is Friday. And it's going to be a good weekend. And that's all I have to say.
You kind of look shell-shocked.
It's been one of those weeks.
Are you just
I'm okay, though.
Are you just waking up now?
No, I'm not. I've been up for hours and hours and hours. And just, I go from one thing to the next. And I have a hard time occasionally segueing from things.
You've managed to sit here for almost a whole hour.
And say pretty much nothing.
It's been great. I have enjoyed it so much, and I think some of our audience has, and some of them have not. But luckily, there's always new people.
And there's always next Friday.
All right, so we're going to go out on a track of music called Working on a Building. I think it's Hot Flannel.
Okay.
Come to our podcast.
11thhourradio.com.
Look us up, and you'll know exactly what you're listening to.
Not that we do.
All right, see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening.
If I was a sinner, I'd tell you what I would do. And I would quit my sinning and I work on the building too. Working on a building, I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. A Holy Ghost building. Building for my Lord, for my Lord. If I was a gambler, I'd tell you what I would do. And I would quit my gambling and I'd work on the building too. Working on a building, I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. A Holy Ghost building, that's a Holy Ghost building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. And if I was a drunkard, I'd tell you what I would do. And I would quit my drinking and I'd work on a building too. Working on a building, I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. A Holy Ghost building, that's a Holy Ghost building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. And if I was a preacher, I'd tell you what I would do. And I would keep on preaching and I'd work on the building too. I'm working on a building, I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. A Holy Ghost building, that's a Holy Ghost building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord.
I don't say stuff into the mic, but I'd like to give a big hand to Patrick Ross, who put this all together. It's pretty special to play with these guys.